We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Eternal Network. Today we're playing Icon's Earthbound, or Icon's actual play. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason, and with me as usual will be Curtis playing Landshark.
Hola.
Taylor playing Unison.
Howdy, howdy.
Mike playing Independence Ray.
Alright.
And Zach playing Recluse.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Now, we've had a little gap since the first episode. Who remembers where we were at?
We were at, oh my gosh, what was our host's name? I did forget that.
Did anyone write the names down?
I keep thinking it's Viltro Aquani, but it's not Viltro Aquani. He's the other loser.
That dude was from like 4 years ago.
He's popped up since then.
Today's loser is Lord Anordu.
That is correct.
Yes, we were invited to Lord Anordu's. We were hoping to learn something about Independence Ray's mysterious alien companion. However, he turned out not to be the best of hosts. He did not serve charcuterie. And we left off with Ray getting a bad feeling and deciding he did not want to go through with the studies that Anordu wanted to perform on him.
Yes, they were sounding more and more experimental and less and less safe, let's say.
Please step into this giant tube. Ignore the whirling blades at the bottom. They're purely for aesthetic purposes.
So yeah, we basically left off last time with the decision made for y'all to get out of there as you were walking down this long corridor. So we'll open with an outside shot of this palace complex. And picture this hallway as almost like a sky bridge connecting two different buildings, or two different parts of the buildings. So the glass is shattering as y'all all basically are going out one side. You hear yelling from inside. Nordu is screaming, after them.
So we're busting out a window, I take it.
Just the quickest way out of the building.
And Landshark will turn as he's probably being pulled away by one of the flyers and remind Anordu, no means no.
You hear the huntsman's robot dog start barking. As you smash out this window, you start to drop. Let's say two of you can fly, one of you's got webbing. So you're not too worried about the heights. Rumor is Landshark bounces, so. But as you bust out this window, open space before you, you get a good view of the city. Lots of multicolored buildings. It's very pretty. Lots and lots of glass, all colored glass. Though you don't see a lot of traffic on the streets. There is some right around the palace complex. As you make your way, in Landshark's case, we'll say him and Recluse, are dropping. What are y'all doing?
In terms of how do we plan to survive the drop?
Sure. It shouldn't be difficult for any of you, but
Yeah. Recluse probably just shot out a couple of web lines up above him to attach onto that little sky bridge. just to slow his descent enough to not go splat,
Okay.
and is more than willing to let Land Shark, piggyback on him.
Sure.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to hope that I can bounce.
Use an Independence Ray. Are y'all following them down? Or are y'all keeping the bird's eye view?
Oh yeah, I follow along. Sure.
Okay.
And Unison is the other flyer. I take it.
I think Unison can fly.
Yes. I'll keep 3 up at the window as a distraction, and 3 of us, or no, 3 at the window for distraction, and 3 of us going down. Yeah.
Several of Anordu's palace guard approach your duplicates. Before Anordu tells them, ignore the projections. Find the humans.
Are they attempting to go past them?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they will certainly begin holding them off. And apologizing.
Sorry about this. You hear the huntsman tell Anordu, or ask Anordu, with your leave, go get them. And Anordu and the dogs head off the other direction.
Orientation-wise, do we know what direction we need to head to get back to the spaceport?
Well, it was a little landing pad that brought you here.
Right.
Because your ship is still in orbit.
Ah.
But yes, from the height you came out at, you can see a spaceport in the distance. You can see where ships are landing and taking off. So that might be your best shot at getting back into orbit.
Sounds fair.
Uh,
Recluse is gonna point it out and say, we should probably book it that away.
Yeah, Recluse and Landshark land. The other two come down. Taylor up above. There are 3 guards trying to get past your guys. Once it becomes obvious that you're trying to interfere, they will take a shot at you.
That's fair.
Alright, so their coordination. And I am blanking on each of the duplicates' names, but
I didn't specify which 3 are up there, so it's fine.
alright. We'll say the yellow, the red, and the black one.
Novice, Impulse, and Night Shift.
Okay.
Got it. Or Night
Alright.
Watch, I forget which. I gotta look where I wrote them down.
Pretty sure it's night shift.
Alright, so yellow is taking a shot. You need to dodge with a against a 7. You need to beat a 7.
Got a 7.
Alright. So that's a marginal success. Gun is not going to do enough damage to get through your defenses.
And then an 11 on that 6.
Alright, that beats the
and
6
a 7
for
on the
sure.
9.
Alright, so the other 2 managed to avoid. So you don't have any of the palace guard diving out the window.
The bottom shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
the
right,
9
you're right,
against
you're
the
right.
7.
That is 5 points of damage.
That is exactly the armor, so he stays up for this round.
Alright.
And then next round he'd go away if he gets hit, because the body armor still degrades.
Yeah, it's degrading. It degrades is probably a better way to phrase that. Armor is not degrading unless you're Red Sonja. Alright. So down on the ground, you guys hear you hear the gunfire starting up top. There are guards down on the ground level that are running in y'all's direction. You know, from the buildings that make up the palace complex.
I vote we just run.
A quick check. How fast can you web swing?
I have a 7, so that is pretty damn fast.
It is fast.
And I can fly at roughly helicopter speed. So let's go.
Helicopter or fast helicopter?
Fast helicopter.
Oh.
Sorry. Didn't mean to be confusing there. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to bring that up and make it a joke for this season as well. 'Cause I remember you not particularly enjoying it.
No, I get a kick out of it. All right, so y'all take off. You leave the guards way behind you. How long are your other copies going to be fighting these guys?
As long as I need to put him down, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and take a swing at him if you want to. Or, you know, whatever your duplicates are going to do to him.
All right. Bang, bang, bang.
All right, just blasting him. All right,
Yeah.
That's their coordination. All right, they did
One
not.
gets launched.
Yep, and since they're just flunkies, I'm not going to worry about actually rolling all that. So you beat one by 3, and yeah, the fella that rolled a 4, he goes flying.
6 damage a pop, so hopefully it's enough to hurt them.
Oh, it definitely hurts them. They've got more damage resistance than I thought they did, but yeah, you definitely hurt them. And now they are like fully engaged in the fight. So you manage to keep them busy while everybody else runs off.
And is Anordu still there?
No, he's turned and he's continuing to march the direction that y'all were already going.
So, well, then I would like to shout an apology for our fairly rude behavior, but I must follow the orders of my current leader.
Ardu looks over his shoulder at you. This rudeness, you may consider yourself no longer protected by my hospitality. And keeps walking.
That's
What
fair.
hospitality?
Alright. But the rest of you are zipping along pretty quickly. You know, you quickly get a couple blocks away from them, you know, building, you know, zigging and zagging between buildings. You know, definitely breaking line of sight with the palace complex. Once you get a block or so from the complex, though, the streets are just empty. Everything's well kept, well tended, very pretty city. But the streets are just, I mean, there's no traffic. There's no people walking on the sidewalks. You've ever seen some of the pictures of, like North Korea's capital or Turkmenistan's capital? You know, where the buildings all look very nice, there's not a whole lot of people in areas. You know, there's statues all over the place. Lots of plant life. You know, trees planted, green areas. Though most of the trees here are blossoming. They, you know, flowers in multiple colors. It's actually really pretty.
Maybe we're out past curfew.
Seems to be the middle of the day, but you don't know what their sleeping habits are here.
Ray would like to try to scope out ahead just to see if there are any, blockades being set up in the path between us and the spaceport.
Okay. Give me a awareness. Alright, so a 6. You got a 6. Hit difficulty was a 6. So it's a marginal success. You zoom up to a bird's eye view. You don't see any roadblocks for the next few blocks. You really can't tell any further than that. So you carry on. You're traveling 10 or 15 minutes. Getting, closer to the spaceport. You're starting to, off in the distance, you're starting to see a little bit of traffic, a little bit of like people moving around. And as you're noticing that, you hear sounds of something coming up behind you. It doesn't sound like any sort of Earth-air vehicle, but there is a sort of electric hum. As you look behind, you have this flyer coming down at you. Looks like it's just big enough to hold like 2 people. Think kind of motorcycle design, like a flying bike. One guy in the front's working the controls, and the guy sitting behind him has some sort of rifle weapon. Basically the same sort of thing that you saw the palace guards with.
Do I see any obvious, these are the things that make it fly, bits on it?
There's 2 flat pads, basically. One at the front, one at the back. It's not like a hovercraft where you're seeing like blades turning or anything. It just looks like a flat pads.
And is it low enough that I could reasonably snag it with my webbing?
Your webbing's got a 7, so you've got a pretty good range on it. And especially if you're swinging already up in the air. Yeah, because it's coming in just at rooftop. And the buildings in this area are 6 or 7 stories.
Alright, then mid-swing, I want to let go, whip out my hands, snag onto the front of the bike, and just give it a nice solid tug to try and knock it out of the air.
Alright. Give me a coordination to hit it. This guy's focused on Ray because he's the one that's flying and glowing. So he doesn't really see you coming. So a difficulty of 9. Alright, so you got a 9, so that's a marginal success. You just barely managed to snag it.
And I wouldn't be able to add athletics to that roll, would I?
Athletics?
Pretty sure
no.
that's just to give you a boost for jumping and dodging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me a strength roll, but only half your strength because it was a marginal success.
Not a problem. That's still pretty good.
Let's see, versus the strength of a...
An 8 is the number to beat.
Alright, let me just find... I know there's... Oh, wait. Oh, I actually had the page marked. How about that? Alright. We'll use the flying car stance. That is a 6. So you beat him with your 8. So you yank it. It makes the entire bike basically go up on its nose, basically. it doesn't completely flip over, but it kind of catapults up, and you see the passenger that was taking a bead on Ray goes flying off the bike. He drops his gun. His arms are flailing. Then you see him reach down and slap his belt buckle, or something on his belt. And he's still descending, but he's descending at a slower pace. He slows down and then starts just a controlled descent. He doesn't. I mean, I say controlled. He doesn't seem to be steering himself, but he's dropping at a controlled, survivable rate.
Hitting the ground might smart, but it's not going to leave a
Right.
stain.
Yeah. At the speed he's going, it'd be like if you were parachuting. You'd want to be braced up and ready to land and know how to land, but
Yeah.
and the bike sort of spins in the air, as it's tethered to you. But the pilot, manages to stay on. The rest of you also see this. Anyone else wish to take any actions against the pilot or the gunman? Like I said, he has dropped the gun. The gun does not slow down. It just hits the ground and shatters.
Actually, can I use my earth control to hurl one of those statues at the bike?
Yeah, I would allow it. You probably don't control the statue itself, but you could probably make the ground erupt up under it and kind of fling it at him. It'd be coordination, and if you've got the power talent, that would factor in.
They do not. I felt really silly. I thought maybe I was overdressed in my fancy silver space outfit, but this is more like it.
All right, and its handling is a 6. Oh, he gets a 12.
Ooh.
Max roll. So that beats your 9. So he sees this big statue of the Lord Anordu come flying at him, and you see him work the controllers. He got a dip. He drops altitude real quick, almost like he just switched the thing off for a second and back on after it had dropped a couple dozen feet. The statue goes flying over his head, crashes into like the 5th story of the building next door.
Well, at least it looked cool.
So the top half of the statue is stuck in the building, but like the heavy base has snapped off and drops to the ground. Luckily, there's no bystanders, no civilians in the area. Tyler?
I'll go ahead and crack 3 shots at the pilot.
Okay. Oof. Alright. His handling's a 6.
That's 3 very good shots.
Mm-hmm. It's a good dodge. It's a bad dodge.
Alright, so it's a marginal on the first one.
So 3 damage.
Alright, that doesn't seem to do him much harm. He takes the hit and, reacts to it, but it doesn't seem to really hurt him. Then it's a 7 versus a 10.
That's a 6 damage and a potential knockback.
Let's see, 2. Yes, that would trigger a potential knockback. So roll your the level of your blast versus his strength.
Alright, well.
Alright, he does not get knocked back. He is hanging on to that bike for dear life.
And then 6 damage from the second shot.
So that is a total of 12 damage. He hung in there pretty good, but you have clearly knocked him out.
Cool, cool.
That last shot catches him in the head, and he sort of lays back on the bike.
All right.
And
The Hunter and Anordu are both after us, so we need to keep moving.
Yep.
So yeah, the bike seems to go into autopilot and just sort of hovers there. As y'all move on, the guard that's essentially parachuting down is screaming after you that you'll never get off the planet alive. But he's dropped his weapon, so there's nothing he can do.
Technically, we're already off the planet. Technically.
Well, you're off your planet. You're still on this planet.
We're within the gravity well of this planet, which is still technically on it.
Oh, okay.
Buddy, the number of times we have heard the words, "You're never going to blank out of here alive." I will be more shocked the day it's true than not. At this point, I just count it as a good luck charm.
Oh, they just jinxed themselves. We're gonna be safe for sure. As you approach the blocks around the spaceport, you see what looks like an outdoor bazaar. Marketplace sort of thing. The difference is it's like individual stalls. You've got colorful fabrics over the top, but the stalls themselves seem to be like permanent installations. They're made out of the same sort of materials that the buildings around them are made out of. The streets are nice and wide. This was clearly designed to be a market area and not just like something that spontaneously came about. And you've got people moving from stall to stall, a variety of clothing, much like the guards you've seen. There's not necessarily, everybody's basically humanoid, but there's not a lot of uniformity to their shape. There's not always a lot of symmetry to like maybe the size of their limbs or eyes. A few of them only have one eye, some of them have multiple eyes.
Does it seem to be like a mutation or just weird sort of evolutionary quirk?
Just looking, you can't really tell. But they don't look like they're all different. They don't look like they're different species or anything.
A quick spot check. Does any of it look like they should have the standard amount and there's like either just one missing or they're extra in odd placements? Or does it look like the ones with multiple eyes, there's a form of symmetry to it, or like something that makes it seem like it's just naturally occurring?
The extra eyes are not always symmetrical. And most of them just have the normal two.
Okay.
Now, like Anordu, he had some weird coloration to him, but compared to any standard human. But he looked relatively normal. Other than that, the huntsman just looked like a large man.
We did see that coming down to the planet, that a good chunk of it was pretty messed up, so they might be still recovering in the wake of some massive war or other event that left, some issues with the genetic code.
Yes, approaching the planet, it's like the entire planet was covered in a smog cloud, almost like it was a city-wide, planet-wide city or factory or something. Except for this island, which was floating, it's alone in the center of an ocean, and it's a large, basically circular area that's free of the smog. I can't remember. Did anybody drop the name of the island to y'all?
I don't think so.
I can't remember if somebody piling y'all down had mentioned. Oh well, it'll come up later then. But like I said, around this bazaar, you're actually seeing people. This place looks kind of busy.
I'll wave. We're passing by.
Y'all get a few looks, recluse, maybe a few more than normal, but people don't freak out like if recluse just walked into a random Walmart, back home. Now, once y'all get to this point, are y'all still flying and whatnot? Or are you gonna try to blend into the crowd?
I mean, I don't think blending in is going to really work, even on an alien
Yeah, I
planet.
feel
We're
like we-
clearly not from here. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say that I don't think we have any clear reason to stop at this this bazaar, do we?
No, not
For the
particularly.
shop.
I'm fine with just continuing to book it.
Okay.
Likewise.
Everybody give me awareness checks.
Sure.
6 is the number to beat.
Oh, okay, cool. I won't ask for any advantages then. Just take my 9 and be happy.
We may have all
Yeah,
been.
that's 7.
All right.
And
So
did you say the number to beat was?
6.
Ah.
All right. So land shark and recluse, you notice several more of those bikes starting to form up. Basically between y'all and the spaceport. Unison, you notice that they're very similar bikes. These actually seem to have like a mounted weapon on the back, as opposed to just another person who happened to have a gun. What you also notice, Unison, is someone standing in an alleyway, kind of waving their hands over their head to get your attention.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Can we make a quick detour for that person waving us?
Yeah, as soon as you turn your head where he knows he's looking at you, he's gesturing like a come here. And glancing around the edge of the alley down towards where the troops are.
Yeah, one of the copies will go down to that person while I'm telling the group. Can we tuck in for just a second, see what this person waving is all about? Because this is the first person not shouting, "I'm gonna kill you," in this place. Which means there may be people to help us.
Well, none of the shoppers have shouted at you. You're just kind of like, huh, that's weird.
Right, so
You look like you need this watch.
we have seen aggressive and we have seen neutral. This is the first, potentially positive. Oh, little baby child.
Little baby child. All right, so your duplicate drops down, and the fella that was motioning you is like, "You need to get your friends and come with me."
Better explanation than that. We're on a real tight timetable.
Yeah. Clearly, you're trying to get to the spaceport to get off of here. Lots of guards, lots of heavy weapons. Even if you got a ship, there's orbital defenses. And do you even know how to fly one of our ships?
I would eventually. It would be a very specific series of events, but it would eventually. Yeah. What's up? Do you have something for us to maneuver this better?
Yeah, I can help you get off the plane.
Rest of the squad?
Yeah. Yes, all of you.
Moving? No, I'm saying, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Back to the squad. The unison that's there is saying, hey, idea has been presented. What do you guys want to do?
Let's go.
Yep. What is his proposition for getting us off the planet, though?
Sounds like he's off.
Yeah, so while the group's coming down, the unit that is with this person, we go, okay, we're coming with you for the moment, but what is the plan?
All right, good. He turns. He starts walking out. Like he's just assuming you're gonna be following behind him.
Oh, before we continue, I just wanted to confirm Omniglat's with us too, right?
Oh yes, I had forgotten all about her. Thank you for bringing that up.
Forget about Omniglat.
I thought we left Omniglat on the ship with a copy.
Oh, did we? Oh, wait,
Thought we did, but
Did you, or did she insist on coming?
She insisted on coming on to the junk planet. I'm not sure if we let her come down here with us.
I don't know.
Okay.
She might have been concerned that y'all would need a translator at some point.
Yeah, I don't have notes either way on whether or not Omniglat accompanied us. So maybe she's not here.
I'll roll a dice. High, she's with you. Low, she's not. 4, that's low.
that's high.
Is it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's right, D6s.
You rolled D6, Jam.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking D10s for some reason. It makes no sense. Alright, so she is with you. She's been riding piggyback with a recluse or something.
Oh yeah, the only note I have is only the supers go, and technically Omniglat's a super.
Okay. But that means none of the engineers went with you or anything, so.
Right.
Because I have a few of their names listed as well. Nat. Alright. Anyway, so you're following this fellow. He's like, well, me and my sister, we sneak in and off, on and off of the planet on a regular basis. We're not really smugglers ourselves, but we know some smugglers. And we occasionally carry some stuff for them. Okay, I guess we are, like, sometimes smugglers. It's not like our profession or anything.
Hey, in the first 15 minutes of us being on this planet, a dude tried to scientifically rip an alien out of my friend. We're not real concerned about whether or not you follow the current ruler's laws of this place.
Is that what Anordu wanted with him? Have the rest of y'all moved into the alleyway now?
Yes.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, toddler situation.
Yeah, y'all have followed this fellow that flagged you down. There's a lot of dice rolls all of a sudden.
That's for the 3 that are still in fight at the place.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Because they would follow Anordu as soon as that fight's done. Because we're in fight mode now, and he probably wipes the floor with them, but information's information.
Alright, all of them take a hit. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Ugh.
Alright, you managed to take them out.
Okay, cool. So now Anordu is just being followed by 3 flying annoyances.
You follow him. He goes into the laboratory where he was taking y'all. As they follow him in, he walks up to a control panel. He starts typing. He looks over at the projections, or at the copies. We will speak again when you are here in person. He flips a switch. And through your duplicate's eyes, you can see each of the duplicates sort of ripples and pops.
Ah, gross.
But it's not pop like when you take damage. It's more like the impression that you get. It's more like something grabbed the protoplasm, ectoplasm, whatever you want to call it, that they're made out of, and shoved that material back into the astral plane.
Huh.
So he may be, these people may be familiar with the realms of the mind, shall we say. Meanwhile, back in the alley, you were talking about your friend, Anordu wanting to experiment on your friend with the alien in him. So the fellow, with the rest of y'all coming in the alleyway, he looks, he really gives Recluse an up and down. Yeah, I guess I could see him being an alien.
Thank you. I think.
Well, it's just, I can see bits of you that look like you're probably human like the rest of your friends, and then there's some very obviously not. And he steps up, right up in your face, Recluse, and kind of sniffs.
I have been improved, yes, but
By gods, huh? He turns around and looks at you and says, Are you sure it was an alien that did this?
It's that one, and I point to Independence Ray. Now can we get a move on?
Oh, okay, that's why he's glowing. Oh, well, that's not so weird. Oh, yeah, of course. And he takes back off. I'm Mackie, by the way. Mary Mackie.
Howdy, Mackie Mary.
No, it's... How far? I'm wondering...
Bruce, and I'm a shark, obviously.
Oh, nice. You'll have to tell me what a shark is someday. He carries you down around a corner, and this guy's like maybe 5'4", 5'5". He's not a tall man particularly. You're around the corner, and there's a woman that just falls into step next to him. That she's probably like 5'2", 5'3". He tells you, this is my sister, Mad Moria. He gets a look from her when he calls her mad, and she just kind of gives y'all a looking over. So what y'all do to piss off Anordu?
We didn't want our friend to get shoved into a blender.
Oh yeah, he didn't like being told no.
He's not a very good host either.
Oh, but his hunter is after us, and those robot dogs are really good at sniffing, so we need to move fast.
Yeah. As you're walking by, you're walking by some steps. She reaches over and pulls a bag out that was kind of nestled in the corner. She starts pulling out basically like robes and ponchos and starts throwing them to you. Recluse gets the one with the hood.
I understand the necessity for it.
Now Mackie had the same sort of disfigurements that you're used to seeing. His sister does not. And as you're walking, he starts peeling those disfigurements off of himself. We won't really need this at the spaceport as much. So how did Anordu catch y'all to begin with?
Oh, he invited us over for dinner.
And you just accepted?
We are from enough light years away, we had no idea who he was.
I am kind of a foodie.
Oh, well, that's fair.
And also, they fixed our broken ship with the invite to come over for dinner.
Yes, we learned that he had been tracking a certain youth, and we wanted to get more information on that. As it didn't take us long, unfortunately, to realize, or I so much a guest as an object to be. I just gotta. It became readily clear.
She just nods that he was going to experiment on you rather than help you.
Honored guests, or even like beings of our own.
Mike, I think you're cutting out a little bit.
Freedom, as it were. And I just decided to break off the engagement at that point, as it were, so to speak.
Probably for the best. But they wait for you to put the robes on.
I mean, maybe you can confirm this, but I got a real strong despot vibe off of him. Am I wrong?
Mora shakes her head. No, you are not. And goes, no, you're not wrong. Where Mackey's like, have you seen the rest of the planet?
Well, I mean, yeah.
He refers to it as the proving grounds.
I was going to refer to it, but it's part of the poll.
He goes, as opposed to, his little island paradise, the island of glass is, pretty nice, but you have to earn your place here.
I asked about those prosthetics you're wearing that you had just removed.
Oh, it just helps me blend in with the crowds a little better. Nobody comes out of the proving grounds completely unaltered.
What are the proving grounds?
But the rest of the planet, the planet-wide factory that allows for, this little oasis of paradise. Gestures around to the city around you. And all his military forces that he uses to keep, everybody under control and seek to spread his influence in the rest of the galaxy.
Well, despots shouldn't live on glass islands.
No, I guess they shouldn't.
Certainly not throwing stones. Anyway, where were you heading now?
He's like, we're still heading to the spaceport. But we'll get y'all disguised a little bit. He looks over at the land shark. Can you take that fin off?
Do I have to?
Well, either that or we'll need to get you a hat.
I'll take it off and stick it in my belt.
Which answers my long-time question of if the fin came off or not. Not good.
I couldn't tell you how he gets it to stick on his head, but it is removable.
So y'all are getting closer now. You can hear ships taking off and landing. All right, when we get to the spaceport, let me do all the talking. We are we will be looking for a ship called the Gem of Femora Briga. Femora Briga is the name of the city we're in, by the way. It's Anordu's capital. This is just a small trading vessel. Well, really a smuggler vessel, but you don't tell the import guys that. But the captain is really good about getting us on here and off. We're kind of well known in the area. More.
Either of our two new friends mention anything about any kind of payment they're expecting in return for the cell?
Not yet.
Not so far.
Okay.
Does Ray want to ask?
I will. Yeah.
Mary Mackey's like, oh, yeah, we like to help folks that aren't from around here.
Bring up what I just. I'm sorry. What was the?
Mackey's response is like, oh yeah, we just like to help people out, and anything to piss off Anordu. We're not big fans of his. Moria, his sister, though, immediately speaks up, answers. Just tell us everything you know about why he's interested in you, that sort of thing. You said there's an alien or that your friend here, gesturing at you, said there was an alien in you. Is it like a parasite? What is it about that makes you an interest to him?
Oh, okay. So he's asking why Anordu wants.
Yeah. Well, the sister is asking.
Oh, okay. I happen to be an energy energy life form. Have you ever heard of such creatures?
She not. Universe is a big place. There's several energy-based life forms.
Okay. Well, this one, ever since I bonded with this being, I've had these abilities to these light-based powers, I guess you could say, flight, things like that. Does that limit the? Does that narrow things down a bit?
Yeah. She looks thoughtful. Do you know the name of the creatures?
No, I've never actually been able to establish any kind of communication. We're just kind of like, I don't know, I guess, kind of like roommates at this point.
Didn't the hunter mention the name of them?
Yes, he did. Yeah, that was like a month ago or something. I mean,
yeah, it's been too many weeks for me to remember, but
yeah, he referred to them as it as a great spiorid. He may have even mentioned that Anordu was interested in such creatures.
And that they were, I think, a protected creature?
That sounds right.
Because there was a reason he couldn't just go out and hunt them. Or, like, kill them and bring them in.
So if you drop that name, you see some obvious recognition in both their faces. Well, he's dancing a very fine line there. They're protected by treaty. We'll need to let the Tawana know.
Protected by treaty. Who established the treaty?
The treaty with the Anordu has with the Tawana. It was a very long war a long time ago. He's been interested in this Spiorid for quite some time. We assume as a potential power source.
Oh, okay.
And part of the armistice was protecting them. He can't do them any harm. Maybe he thought.
But if one of these beings were to say, place themselves in the palm of his hand, that wouldn't really be he wouldn't really be breaking the treaty, would he?
I would think that he would be, but if it, he may have She starts thinking, and Mackie goes, but he may have been basically smuggling it onto the planet in you. You were a nice little package that even those of us that watch him, we'd have just seen a human coming in. You know, we do a good job of keeping tabs on him, but we don't have eyes in his laboratory. So if he'd gotten you there, we'd have never been aware of what was going on with you.
And who's this Tawana that he had formed the treaty with?
Oh, it's our people.
Oh, you're the Tawana.
Technically, Anordu would be considered the same species as well. Really, all the people of this world and our world. We started off as one race or related races or something. It's way back in history. Early days of the universe. Our species are some of the first that developed intelligence. At least of creatures made of matter. Or mostly matter. Let's see. Roll me. Let's say awareness. Where did my sheet go? We'll say a difficulty 4.
Oh,
So
nice.
the number to beat is a 7. Oh, and y'all are all beating that handily. Except Landshark. Which really just sort of fits. When you went off into space to assist in the war, the last big push, you remember there being some representatives of a race called the Tawana there. In fact, one of them was going to act as a guide to the strike force that was going after the satrap. You didn't get a lot of information on the species. There weren't a whole lot of individuals involved. But you do recognize the name, and everybody seemed to be somewhat deferential to them. They were clearly respected by the other governments.
Was there a reason your race was protecting these creatures in the treaty other than just, being benevolent? Nice guys?
The Great Spiorid are harmless. I mean, they're very powerful, but almost never malevolent. They'd be capable of doing great harm if someone could find a way to agitate them enough.
Or if they bonded with somebody that was not nice.
Yeah, something like that could probably work. And Miura looks at Independence Ray. Are you nice?
Ray's, I'll speak up for him. Ray's very nice.
I try to be.
But I've never heard of a Spjord bonding with the physical like this. But I mean, she's like, but we're rabble rousers, not scientists, so.
Well, it happened. Yeah, it was a bit of it was an accident.
How did it happen?
Really, I was piloting a vehicle, a vehicle collided with what I now know to be one of the Great Spjord. And somehow, instead of just dying in a flaming crash, I woke up with energy powers.
But it hasn't tried to communicate with you. It hasn't spoken to you, or
Not to date.
or
Honestly, I wasn't even aware that was a real possibility until just now.
yeah. Well, I know some of this Spjord learned to communicate with us. Though early on, we only got you would only get emotional impressions from them. And when she says that, Ray, you remember the longer you were around Anordu, the more anxiety you were feeling. Some of it was probably just he was getting creepier and creepier. But now the thought crosses your mind that, maybe not all that anxiety was yours.
Was trying to reach out to me.
Maybe. Maybe you were just getting really creeped out by this guy because he gives off a creep vibe.
Or me. I'd bring up I'd share that with the group. I'd say, I think I feel like maybe the Spjord within myself might have been trying to warn me about Anordu. If my sudden breakout was confusing you, I'm starting to wonder if that might have been part of it.
I mean, I understand. Ugh. And we're getting a little bit more, and we've already gotten a few answers about what's going on with you, so I'm sure it's fine. It's fine.
At this point, y'all have gotten to a street. Spaceport's on the other side. The siblings are kind of looking both ways. They look around. They take. Oh, go ahead, Curtis. What?
I'll ask him about the city looking so empty.
The city is Anordu's promise to those in the proving grounds, if they prove themselves. If they're strong enough, if they're mean enough. Well, mean isn't a requirement, but if they're willing enough to do whatever is necessary.
Well, not many people have qualified to live in the city.
Right.
And those that have are the meanest and evilest of the bunch.
Or the families of those people. If you get in, you bring your family with you. It's kind of part of...
Is that why they call this planet the Proving Grounds, then?
Everything that's not the Isle of Glass, yes.
Oh.
All the Proving Grounds are the planet-wide factory. It's factory farms, it's production of materials, energy production.
So life on this planet is basically one arduous audition for Lord Anordu.
Mackie nods his head. And Mora goes, yeah, the planet's basically hell. Anordu...
I'd love to shake this city up a bit.
There's not a small part of me that says, let's turn around and, start pulling Anordu's limbs off, but we're one, two, three, four people on a planet, and he has an army, and we're tough, but we're not that tough.
Mackey's like, I appreciate the enthusiasm there, but yeah, that's a straight-on assault is a really bad idea. Even we don't know all the defenses he has in place.
Well, he can disrupt astral projections. I know that much.
I'm sorry, he can what?
Yeah, he activated a device in his lab that popped my copies.
Oh, there's some implications to that I don't like.
Mary Mackey looks at you, Unison. Oh, you're psychic then.
Well, by technical?
Well, it's nothing to be embarrassed. We have a lot of mentalists amongst our people.
I can't read minds.
Oh, yeah, it's hardly... If you're interacting with the plane of the mind, you know... You know what? It's not important. Let's get you off this planet before Anordu finds you.
So is this glass city built to withstand earthquakes?
Well, there hadn't been an earthquake in a while, but yeah. Our building materials, well, both here and on our own world, probably a lot sturdier than stuff you're used to. And, you know, the families of the, you know, as bad as the people are that serve Anordu, you've still got, like, children and innocent family members that live here. Let's not destroy a city if we can help it.
Yeah, boss, that's going a little bit hardcore even for me.
As long as we don't dump Landshark near a pond, we'll be fine. He's only wrecked one city, and that was because there was too much water.
No, he's had other instances. There's multiple cities he's not allowed in.
Those bad guys were punching my buttons.
But anyway, so they're checking to make sure, you know, like Recluse's hood's up, and they kind of coach you on hunching over a little bit. And then they kind of hustle you across the street. There are guards watching the entrances. But they're not watching super close. They don't seem to be, like, on alert. They're just very casually standing around. You know, y'all start walking through the landing pads. You know, you see multiple ships. They gesture to one. That one there is the gem of Fomori Brigga. You know, you hear him radio ahead as you're approaching the gangplank. To the gem starts to lower. As it does, you begin to hear barking. Followed by the stomping of boots in sync. Out of several
One set or
do what now?
like one set of boots or just like one very heavy walker?
No, like lots of boots. Guards begin spilling out of the buildings. You see the hunter's mechanical dogs running up to you. And back behind them is the hunter himself. Sarah Garrix. Not leaving already, are you?
I mean, we were hoping to.
Barely in our city an hour. You've already managed to run into the Goodfellows. Mary Mackey sort of waves at him when he calls their name. If any of y'all look confused, he fills in that, oh, that's our family name. So he's Mary Mackey Goodfellows, and his sister's Mad Moria Goodfellows.
Well, we sort of found Anordu's hospitality lacking, so we thought we would leave. No hard feelings.
Oh, it's a shame you didn't stay for
Don't worry
lunch.
about the Yelp review.
Well, Anordu will be quite pleased that I've managed to find you before you got off the planet. Normally, catching the Goodfellows would be a feather in my cap, but that will be dwarfed by bringing that one back, and he points at Ray.
I'm gonna look around. Are there like any booths or anything that like any place that could conceivably have a dark corner that we can get to very quickly?
You're basically out in like a landing field. So there's like, you know, kind of forklift type stuff. There's crates laying around. You know, cargo being unloaded and loaded. Though any potential non-combatants have clearly realized crap's about to go down, so, you know. All your spaceport techs and crew and merchants and stuff like that are vacating the premises. In fact, the gym's gangplank came down, and somebody was starting to walk down it, and then he sees all that, and he turns around and marches right back up the gangplank, and the gangplank starts to raise.
Before the fight starts, I'll grab my fin and put it back on my head.
Bloop.
So, you know, you could just say you didn't see us. Save yourself the embarrassment.
Because Ray's not going with you.
Well, you seem to have made your decision. Let's see if you can enforce it. He snaps his fingers, the dogs take off, all the troops come up with their guns. So give me initiative rolls, if you would be so kind. Oh, and I better pull up the icons assembler. Boop. Alright. I need him. And I need the robotic good boy and the robotic better boy. Alright, so I'm going to go just going to roll the d6s and then add later. So there's for the hunter, dog, robot dog 1, robot dog 2, and the regular troopers.
Oh man. I'm gonna be way further down on this initiative list than I had hoped.
Alright, Sarah Garrix has a coordination of 7. So he goes on a 12 total. The big dog has a 3 plus 3, so he'll go on a 6. the smaller dog. Oh, he also has a 3 and a 4, so he'll go on a 7. And the regular troops have a 3, so they'll go on a 9. You alright? You sounding a little choked up.
Just a little bit.
Unison, what was your initiative?
10.
Okay. Independence Ray, what was your initiative?
Independence Ray had an 11.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it now, yeah.
Are we surrounded by these guys, or are they all facing us on one end?
No, they kind of came out of everywhere. And Land Shark. Did I already get yours?
I got a 10 also.
Okay. I already got yours there. In descending order. Alright, top of the order is the Huntsman. Oh, I was about to forget the very important Goodfellows. All right. I believe she's got a 3.
Oh. Are
You're
you
the
doing it on
4.
purpose?
What?
All of your D6 rolls have a +1.
Huh. Oh, that's because I was using the roll thing over here that starts at a 1, not at 0. Okay.
So do you need to tick back
Yes,
all your
yes,
keeps
yes.
by 1?
I will roll back. Good looking out.
Recluse, you are now the leader of this combat.
Yay!
Yeah, baby. Well, except probably one of the Goodfellows. That 6 roll might top out, but
Oh, and I need to. I keep forgetting Omniglot is here.
Yeah, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. 60-pound pit bull murder machine needs her daily affirmations, or she gets depressed.
Oh.
okay. I was really scared that Recluse was calling Omniglot a good girl, and I was like, I think
That was the first thing I thought too, and I chose not to say it.
That is a very different kind of game that we are not playing, and probably not one I'm comfortable playing with y'all.
You just really need to just put a hand and be like, hey, brother. You've lived in my house. You're not allowed to do this.
Alright. He's got a 7, and she's got a 6. All right. Now we're everybody's in order and ready to go. Top of the order is Recluse.
Okay, so we are surrounded on all sides by a bunch of armed goons. We got the huntsman and his 2 robot dogs, right?
Correct. And it is you 4, Omniglot, and the 2 Goodfellows.
Do I see anything that I can just bring down on top of any of the goons?
This is like open air, so there's nothing above you. But like I said, there are crates. There's cargo moving equipment around. So, you know, you could web something and like swing it over your head and try to bring it down on them.
Alright, I am just going to leap over to the cargo containers and just start grabbing them and hurling them into the crowds of armed goons.
Okay.
Like grab, throw, move, grab, throw, move, grab. All yeah, just doing this as fast as I can.
Okay. Give me a coordination.
Right.
Because you got what, an 8 strength? That's that. So lifting this stuff not going to be a problem.
Not bad.
All right. So yeah, you jump to one side, snag a shipping container, fling it into the crowd. You know, several of them get out of the way. Several of them kind of get just brushed and knocked aside. One poor guy takes it just straight on as the shipping container hits him, hits the ground, and then slides for a while. If he'd been a human, that would probably be the end of him. But as you notice with the pilot guys, these these guards can take a licking.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not getting up for this fight. Independence Ray. If you're talking, you're muted.
Right.
Let me make sure he hasn't dropped me a message somewhere that I just didn't see.
I don't see any AFK mentions.
Oh well, he may have had to step away for a minute, so we will come back to him, and we will let the huntsman go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, there he is.
I must have missed my cue. My connection's been even weaker than usual. So if
When you
something, it's usually because my Zoom feed froze. It's been freezing up a lot today. So sorry about that.
Oh, there's no problem. You've cut in and out a few times, so that's probably the same issue there. Anyway, it's your go. You're surrounded. Recluse has started chunking cargo containers at some of the regular troopers.
Okay, I'm gonna give off a flash, and hopefully everyone will know. Well, anyway, hopefully I don't catch any of the good guys in this. I'd like to try to dazzle. Well, actually, maybe I'll just try to dazzle the portion of the troops in front of me, like so. Because I don't want to blind any of the good guys here.
Okay.
So that's not. I guess I don't have that as an area effect. So I guess this would be a multi-action. Is that how that would work?
Or you could, if you wanted to tap a quality and burn a determination point, you could power stunt for the area effect to put that on the power.
Yeah, I've got 4 determination. I can. This is kind of an important thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Tapping, hosting an alien energy being. And here comes the dazzle.
All right. And I believe that is versus their coordination.
Yes.
All right, they got a 6. So you beat them by 4. It is a massive success. Do you have Dazzle pulled up to see what a massive success does?
That means they're dazzled for the entire chapter. +2 difficulty with actions relying on sight, and yeah, using an advantage to recover, or just like any.
Yeah. These guys are mooks. They're not going to be recovering. They're just going to be at a -2 and can't half see. So we'll say that you lit up and you turn around and you basically shot a beam of light back behind your buddies, blinding kind of the guys coming up behind you. The rest of you see the flash just from behind you, so it doesn't bother y'all. And Ray, you see a bunch of people start rubbing their eyes, and clearly there's some confusion over there. And then we go to the huntsman. Alright, we got a lot of detection powers. His first shot is going to go towards Recluse, because Recluse is proving to be dangerous. So is Ray, but he wants to be sure not to kill Ray. Recluse, It doesn't really matter. Alright, so his coordination is a 7. He has a skill with his bow. So it is a total of it. So he got a 12. And again, he doesn't look like he's armed, but when he goes up into a shooting position, it's like a bow made out of energy comes out of his little bracers or whatever. And then he shoots a bolt. If any of y'all ever saw the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, that's kind of what his bolts look like. Luckily, Recluse, your danger sentence kicked in. And you managed to, backflip out of the way. Though it's close enough that you can tell this guy is a really good shot. When you avoid his shot, he just sort of smiles and nods at you. He looks like somebody that's having a grand old time. Unison, you're up.
Alright. First off, unit will pop Impulse, Night Shift, and Novice back out. Which will be his action and their actions, so I only have 2 left. So first one will shoot a telekinetic blast at the hunter.
Okay. So that's his coordination. He has athletics, so it's an 8. Plus his die roll. He got a 12.
Alright.
So he sidesteps out of the way.
And the second shot will be a mental blast, which I'm not sure what roll that goes against yours.
If
First time I'm using it, I'll should pull it up and read and double check.
Yep, I had forgotten that you had taken that one. Though these are characters that have some advancements on them, so. Alright, mental blast.
First time I've used the power, so yeah. Okay, willpower versus willpower.
Yeah, willpower versus willpower for the attack, and then your power level for the damage.
Yeah.
Ignores damage resistance, but not mental resistance. Alright, so willpower versus willpower. He has no skills that factor into this.
Yeah, but I'm enrolled, so.
You got a 7 and he got an 8.
Yeah.
So, very smoothly sidestepped, the actual TK blast from the first clone. real, economy of movement. He moved just enough out of the way that it blew past him. And then when you try to hit him with a mental blast, there's a half stumble, not like he was hurting, but like that was not the attack he was expecting. It caught him by surprise, but he managed to resist.
Ugh. This fight's gonna be a while for me.
Yep. And let's see next, Land Shark.
Not to be a show off, but I think it's time Anordu and the rest of this planet learns what a shark is. And I'm going to use that quality and burn a determination point to activate the extra trimmers. And I'm going to try and send a trimmer in the direction of the huntsman and his hounds. See if I can't slam them.
Okay. Now, what does the trimmers do? Does that just let you make a range attack with or an area attack with your strength, basically?
It says you can send trimmers to the ground for an earth control versus coordination or strength test to slam targets.
Okay. So it's versus
cosmetic damage it does to the landing field.
Okay. I thought you were doing like a ground pound Hulk style, but this is your actual earth control power. Gotcha. So they have to roll their coordination, you said?
Coordination or strength.
The huntsman will go with his coordination because I believe his athletics would probably factor into this, it being a balance thing. All right, so he got a 10. Go ahead and roll your... You have to roll earth control?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll your earth control.
Actually, you know what? My earth control power is the same level as my strength, so I'm just gonna... Oh my gosh.
Was not a great roll, so you got a total of a 10, which is a decent number for rolling a 2 on the dice.
It's a decent number, but man.
All right, so Sirigirix, the huntsman, maintains his balance. You got a marginal success, so he does throw his arms wide. He keeps his balance, but it's not as smooth as he usually moves. His doggos, on the other hand, both have coordinations of 3. It's probably not going to go well for them. So you got a major success on one of them and a massive success on the other one. And this was for a slam effect?
Yes.
So major and massive, I think, are the same. A regular success, they fall prone. A major or massive, they go flying. So they go flying back, they get hit by the wave and basically thrown back behind him. An area or 2 back. And land prone, of course. Does Landshark have anything snappy to say after his success?
I can't think of anything at the moment.
Huh.
I know that's unusual, right?
You usually have something to say. Oh, and the robot dogs give a very dog-sounding yelp as they hit the ground. Alright, next up are the various troopers. I have basically divided the troopers into 4 groups. Basically, in front of you, behind you, to your left and right. So the troopers behind you open fire. And it's basically like an area effect. It's going to potentially affect you all. Just because of how many of them there are. However, these guys are rolling on a -2, or I should say a +2 difficulty.
I need a coordination roll from us.
Yes, all of y'all give me a coordination roll. I will take the I will deduct their penalty from their roll, so y'all can just roll normal.
That is a whale.
So 5 is the number y'all need to beat.
Done.
All right, was that everybody? All right, so yeah, y'all avoid the blinded guys without any trouble whatsoever. You know, they can just see enough to tell what general direction y'all are in, and they're just kind of firing blind. Recluse, the ones over on your side, they've just watched you dodge the huntsman. They're not bothering to shoot you. The ones that are up on their feet are just charging you, and they're trying to like dogpile you into a grapple.
I don't like that.
I will give them a -1 because you've knocked a couple of them down and took out one of them. So let's see. That's not the rule book. That is the annual. All right. So this is a wrestling move, basically. No, that's damage types. I need actions. Alright. So you can roll your prowess or your coordination. Oh, that's not good.
Stats the same both, so let's assume coordination. That's a 13.
I thought this was going to be easier for them to do, but it is not. Alright. Their prowess is a 5. Well, it is a better stat for them, so there's at least that. So they got a 7, you got a 13.
And I don't suppose that lets me get in a free little sucker punch on some of them.
Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so they got a massive failure. They're mooks. So yeah, I'll say if you want to, as you're dancing around them, avoiding them, you can basically be webbing them together as you do it.
That sounds fantastic. I would absolutely love to do that.
And since it's a massive, that means they are now in a complete hold. So the only thing they can do next round is try to escape. Let me mark them as webbed. Let's see, the ones in front of you. They are holding slightly different looking weaponry. They still just handheld stuff. But where everybody else is just holding what looks like guns, these guys' weapons end in like a prong sort of thing. And they are taking aim at Independence Ray. They are essentially assisting each other. So So that's giving them a +2 to hit. It is essentially a stun attack. They're trying to take Ray down without actually injuring him. And they rolled minimum. Ray had already rolled, so they got an 8. Ray, you beat that with a 9. So there's this hail of where everything else is kind of firing, blaster bolt sorts of things. This stuff is firing more of a it's not quite a ring, more of an eclipse, I guess, of kind of wavering energy.
They don't want to damage the merchandise.
Exactly. And then the last group. Oh, let me give them a coordination roll. They rolled poop because they're over there basically with the huntsman and his dog, so they would probably have been caught in that wave. Yeah, never mind. They all got crap, I can't remember for sure which roll that was. Land shark. Oh, I think that was a 10. Yeah, because the dog had a 7 and a 6.
It was a lot higher. I'm embarrassed.
So they actually did worse than the dogs. So when those dogs went flying, so did that whole quarter of the troops. So they're all spinning this around, picking themselves up. They're standing up. They're finding their weapons. Next up is Mary Mackey. And he starts stepping up into the air. He's moving like he's walking up steps. There's just nothing there. Except maybe right around his feet you see a little, almost like a little heat waver. Or almost like the Predator effect. There's a ripple in the air around his feet as he walks up into the air. And then he takes a pot shot at one of the dogs. And you hear him mumbling something about how he really hates those dogs. It leaves you with the impression he may have been chased by these things once before. And it was likely a bad experience. No, he just barely hits it. Alright, so it takes some damage. Again, it kind of yips when his little blaster bolt hits it. You hadn't really seen where he was armed before, but now he's got like a small pistol of some kind, sci-fi blaster pistol looking thing. Then his sister goes. And as Mackie, he runs up into the air to get a vantage point. And he shoots. And then he shouts down to the rest of you. Well, maybe not Recluse, because Recluse had already moved. But the other 3, he shouts down to you. You might want to give Moria some space. I think she's about to go into a warp spasm. And he says that like you should know what that means. Then his sister goes, And as soon as this little standoff started, any of you standing close to her heard her start kind of, puffing. Like she's been building up, almost like she's about to start hyperventilating. Well, now you see her start stretching and bulging. All of her hair stands up, like individual strands are standing up, almost like they're metal spikes.
Wow.
Her face is contorting. One side's getting bigger than the other. She's, she was a fine-looking individual before. She's also gaining 2 or 3 feet of height. She towers over Landshark. Oh, that's a bit of an echo. Gets really, really bulky. Her teeth get all crooked in her mouth. And then she just leaps into the group that were shooting at Ray.
I'm getting a very big Mr. Hyde from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen vibe.
That's probably not a bad description.
What spasm?
That is probably not a bad description. And kind of like most people you've seen around here, where not everything's symmetrical, doesn't seem to hinder her her moving though. As she dives into the crowd, and a few guys go flying. Some of them are trying to shoot her. Some of them are just scrambling out of the way. Let's see. Next up is one of the doggos. Let's see. He was knocked prone. So he stands up. Actually, that's all the dogs can do. They don't have any ranged attacks. So standing up is their movement. Next up is Omniglot. She runs over to the raising gangplank of the ship and attempts to jump up and kind of grab it as it's raising up and pull herself into the ship. And she does so without any issue. The other dog stands up. And then we are back up to Recluse. Are you with us? Oh, did Zach step away?
Look, he muted, so he's probably having to handle small baby child.
Ah, very possible, very possible.
It was vocal.
In that case, we'll drop down to Independence Ray, and then we'll just come back to Recluse.
Okay, so he'll blast. He's going to light blast the huntsman, because I think the huntsman and his dogs are really the only ones that can pin us down at this point.
Yeah.
And so let's see what happens here. Oh.
Oh.
Too bad it's not a killing blast.
Nice.
You're not a psycho. You don't want to necessarily kill people.
That 3 points of light power of power control come in handy.
Oh yeah. All right. So
I should probably I probably should clarify this now. If I take power light control, does that affect all the extras as well, or just the base power? Because I probably should clarify that now.
Okay. If what now?
So I have power, the power, especially power, specialty in light control. Does that add to the 2 extra powers I've modified light control with, or just the base one? Like, do I have to buy the power specialty for each of the powers, or does light control just cover it all?
I think the light control would just cover it all.
Oh, sweet.
Because you already spent points on the extra on the power, so.
Yeah.
That's true. I probably dropped a lot of achievements and whatnot on that.
Yeah, you'd have to be like triple dipping to if you had to use a specialty as well.
Alright, so Sarah Garrex got a 10, but Ray got a 14. So that is a massive success.
Mm-hmm.
So how much damage does Ray do?
8.
Alright. Sarah Garrex has a little damage resistance. But just the natural amount that his people have, he's not wearing like souped up armor or anything.
Oh Lord.
And as I do that, I'd ask Recluse.
Well, I think he may, given given what he just said, I think he may have had to immediately step away again.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Well, when he comes back, I'll ask Recluse if he could like web down the huntsman.
All right. So anyway, you did damage to him, and since it's not a killing attack, it is a blasting, or not a shooting attack, it is a blasting attack. That potentially does knockback. So roll the rank of your power versus his strength, and we'll see if you send him flying or not.
Oh, right. The control power.
10 is the number to beat. You know, and the specialty would not count into this. This is just the raw physical force of your power.
Yeah. I think I just rolled a 6.
Okay.
I don't have the +3 built into the modifier.
Wait a second. Oh, you rolled before me. You rolled up. Oh, that's weird. You rolled 2 14s in a row, and I rolled 2 10s in a row.
Check the randomizer.
That is so weird. I mean, it's a 6 on the dice both times. And when firing at me, you had a +5, +3 for the skill. Where with the power, it was just a straight play. That's weird little quinky dink.
I think let's see. No, that was also those were 2 6s in a row.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell that by the box. You get the green box if it's the highest roll possible, and the red one if it's lowest.
Oh yeah, you can mouse over that. And see.
So he tries the other way, and you just hear a oof, and he goes flying back, kind of where his dogs were, hits the ground and rolls a couple times. But immediately, he's kind of pushing himself up with his hands and looks up. So, you can immediately tell that he's not unconscious or anything. All right, Zach, are you back with us?
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry.
Oh, that's no problem.
Alright, so the huntsman is pretty well taken care of, or at least pinned down, right?
No, he just got knocked. He got damaged and knocked back. Ray was asking Recluse something.
Recluse, Ray, what did you ask Recluse? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, that's no problem. I would just ask Recluse to if he could web down the huntsman, because he's probably the only real threat to us here, and I'm worried about how much time it would take for us to actually take him out.
Oh yeah, not a problem. Recluse is immediately just going to just start webbing him up. I kept trying to say spray, and for some reason I felt really wrong. Could I tap his prone condition? To give myself both.
Absolutely could.
Alright.
He got a 10 versus your 12. So that is a success. So you have him in a partial hold. He can still take actions at a -2, but he cannot move from his location until he escapes or whatever. And of course, if you do it again next time and get the same result, the 2 partial holds will stack up to a full hold. Then it is the huntsman's go. And like I said, he was pushing himself up. So he was like half up when you managed to web him. So he is going to take a shot at you. Because Recluse is bugging him. Alright, so he's rolling on a total of a +8, but -2. So 6 plus a die roll. He only got an 8. 8 is the number to beat, Recluse.
Easily done.
Easily done with an 11. Unison.
All right. Are the dogs still up?
Yes, they got knocked back and knocked down by Landshark, and then they spent their last round. They spent their action standing up.
All right. Well, we're not trying to make friends here, so I'll take 2 shots on one of the dogs.
All right.
12 and an 11.
So the 2 dogs, there is Kona and Atar. One of them is noticeably bulkier than the other one.
I'll fire at the bulkier one.
Okay. His coordination is not great. So he got a 5. Make sure he doesn't have any wrestling, biting, stealth, and tracking. So yeah, nothing that factors into this. Alright, so he got a 5 versus your 11. That's a massive success. How much damage do you do?
6 damage.
Alright. He's pretty well armored, but you visibly do some damage to him.
And then potentially launch.
Potentially a slam. So roll the rank of your blast versus his strength. Ooh, max roll. 13 is the number to beat.
I rolled a 9, so
I see.
Stable.
Yep. So he takes the lick. He doesn't go flying or anything. Quadruped, low to the ground.
And the second blast on the 11.
Oh, that's bad. I forgot all about the second one. That would be a 6.
So another 6 damage and a potential knockback.
Alright. Roll your blast again.
Knockback's on an 11 this time.
That might do it. Yep, he only got a 10. So he doesn't go flying back, but you do knock him over again.
Cool. 2 shots on the smaller dog.
You can't be sure, but it's almost like the smaller dog turns and laughs at his companion.
Oh, that's unfortunate because it's an 11 and a 12 at the smaller dog too.
All right.
I have now used all of my high rolls.
Smaller dog is a little more agile. Well, not so much agile, but he's actually got something that adds effectively more agile. So he got a 6 versus the first blast, and a 10 on the second one. So the first blast is a massive success.
Oh. Oof. He may be getting launched too at that 12.
Alright, so it was, you said 6 points of damage or 7 points?
6 points of damage.
Alright, 6 points. So that drops that. The second lick also hit would do damage. Ooh, he's not looking real great. His strength is a little lower. So he got a 10. So you knock this one prone too.
Oh, cool. Doing a good job today. And the remaining two will look at the huntsman and will attempt to blast his brain.
Alright.
A 10 and an 11.
And Sirigurix has willpower. Okay. Ooh, a 6 and a 9. So the second one he shrugs off, weirdly enough, after taking the first one. How much damage does it do?
Oh wait, how does he shrug it off?
He got a 9. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the 6 I had rolled before instead of the 11 you had. My apologies.
So he takes 1 point of mental damage and then another point of mental damage.
Yeah, but that's damage that bypasses his damage resistance, so 2 points total. Alright. And you see him kind of shake his head and kind of and when his concentration breaks, that the bow, energy bow appeared around his gauntlet or his bracer kind of disappears momentarily while he puts his hands to the side of his head. Land shark.
Pardon me. What is the status of the huntsman? Is he prone or webbed?
He's kind of up on one knee and webbed in place. His arms are free, so he was still shooting. Though now you've seen him scream and grab it, or kind of growl and grab his head.
And he's still our biggest threat. I'm going to walk up and punch him. Do I take advantage of the prone?
You can tap prone if you want to. I'll give you a +2 on that.
He's also partially held. So,
That does not affect his his reaction resistance rolls, I don't think. Alright, so that's an 11. His prowess is not great. He's not really a brawler. Hey, but he got an 8. It's not too bad. But that's still a major... So if he wasn't webbed down, there's a chance he would go flying. How much damage do you do, Land Shark?
8.
Just for funsies, Curtis, give me a roll with just your strength. Zach, give me a roll with for the strength of your webs.
and then
So 9 is the number to beat, Zach.
eight. Oh,
So you run up, Land Shark, nice little just uppercut, just full shot to the chest, just whack. You hear the sounds of the webbing ripping, but it blunts the force enough that he really just flies into the air a few feet and then drops back down. He is out like a light.
Nice. Let's
I'll
get out of here.
menacingly at the mechanical dogs and go,
The troopers go. The ones that got knocked down last time would have spent their action last time standing up, so they're up and able to go. And Bruce, they swarm you.
Okay.
So you can use your prowess or coordination to resist this if they try to dogpile you. Prowess. Their prowess is a 5.
Does my martial arts count on that?
No, you would have to have wrestling. All right. So they got a 7. You got an 8. They're running up. They're trying to grab your leg. They're trying to jump on you. You're just pushing them off and shaking them off. But while you're doing that, the entire squad runs up and jumps you, except for 2 of them. That each of them grab the huntsman by an arm and are dragging him off the field. The one swarming you, well, give me an awareness roll. Let's see how aware Bruce is.
Not his strongest feature.
But I rolled bad, so 5's the number to beat.
Did it take? Did it roll?
Yes, you rolled a 5 too, so marginal success. So while these guys are basically feeling a little bit of a panic because the big wig just went down, Bruce, you notice the nervousness. You notice that they look scared, but clearly that's just because you're so tough.
Of course.
So you notice the emotion, but misplace the reason for the emotion. Alright, that was the guys on the left of you.
I mean, sharks are scary.
Yep. The ones on the right are going to try to escape Recluse's webbing. How strong are these guys? Alright, Zach, if you give me a roll for Recluse's webbing.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, max roll, 13.
Yep, they're getting out.
Alright, so they managed. Some of them, wriggle out. Some of them just tear their way out. Which lets you know at least some of them are inhumanly strong. But clearly they are struggling to do it. It's not they're not just shrugging this stuff off. The blinded ones. They're gonna do their little area effect thing again. So everybody give me coordination. As the blind ones continue to just kind of fire blindly in y'all's general direction. 4 is the number to beat because I can't roll today. Or they can't roll today. Alright, everybody makes it no problem. And the ones with the stun weapons, they're kind of occupied as the spasm warped young lady is over there stomping a mud hole in them. Alright, then. Let's see, which one is this one? Ah, yes. So Mary Mackey, he sees how the battle's going, he turns around and he starts running to the ship. Again, this time it looks like he's running downstairs that aren't there. When he gets there, he starts banging on the gangplank, which is finished going up now. The sister's over there stomping the aforementioned mud hole. The smaller robot dog gets up and is barking its head off at Bruce. Then it's Omniglot's go. And you don't know what she does, but the gangplank starts to lower again. Then the other dog gets up, and then it is Recluse's turn.
Alright, I am just going to try and web up the, start hurling more shipping containers into the soldiers behind us.
Okay.
That's an 11.
Okay. Now, when you say behind you, do you mean the ones you were already throwing at, or the blinded ones?
The blinded ones.
Okay, gotcha. So they have a 3. Yeah. 3. I'm going to -2 because they're blind. So they got a 5. Versus, that's a massive success. So they go flying like bowling pins. Some of them are knocked out. Some of them are just knocked prone. But they go flying one direction. Their weapons go flying another. And they're blind. So the chances of them finding their weapons and being able to do anything useful for the rest of this fight are unlikely.
And I'm going to say we should probably start making our way out of here.
All right, like I said, you see the gangplank coming back down.
Is Landshark still being dogpiled on?
They're trying, but he's just shrugging them off anytime they make contact. But yes, they are making the attempt. Those guys are making the attempt.
Okay, well, I think I'll set one of them, and I'll slowly making my way, or flying my way towards the gangplank. I'll just try to provide some cover fire for Landshark, and I guess I can't. I'll just bless one of them.
Well, no, what you could do is put the quality on them cover fire that Landshark could then tap for whatever he does next.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so 14. They would resist this with their coordination. So they got a 5. Alright, so he has 3 free tappings of cover fire.
And I'll just be like hovering over the gangplank at this point.
Yeah. So you hover, it's almost down to the ground. You see Omniglot is at the control panel. And the guy that was walking down the gangplank and then turned around and walked back up. He's standing to one side looking a little pissed. And he's got one hand pressed over an eye. Like it's hurting him. And he's giving Omniglot such a look.
Did Omniglot just commandeer the vehicle?
Sounds like.
Alright, next up would be Siragarix the Huntsman. But he is unconscious. Unison, you're up.
So, Unit will go ahead and walk on the ship. No reason not to. The other 5 will go ahead and just fire away at the people on Landshark.
Okay.
Because it's blinded, people on Landshark, and what else?
The blinded people are effectively no longer an issue.
Alright.
You see them over there on their hands and knees feeling around trying to find the weapons they just dropped from where Recluse knocked them down. So the 2 squads that you still have kind of effective are the ones around Landshark and the ones that Mad Moria is slapping around.
Well, okay, I'll split it 50-50. 3 shots at Land Shark guys and 3 shots at Mad Moira's guys.
Okay.
So 12, 11, and 8
All right.
for Land Shark mooks.
You beat him. You beat him. You beat him. So the ones that are most aggressively clinging to him, you basically knock them off. You know, 1 or 2 of them don't get back up because that squad has taken a few hits.
And then 3 shots for Moira.
All right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. One of them managed to get out of the way. And for them, you're just piling more damage on what they're already taking. So.
And unit on the ship will look at Omniglot. You didn't hurt him, did you?
He was very rude.
All right.
At the bottom of the gangplank, Mackey's looking up. Oh, did you hit? Oh. He talks all gruff. He wasn't going to do anything. I'm sorry about this, Manny. They don't know.
Or maybe he was threatening to take off without us.
Before, let's see. It's Unison. So yeah, he's basically apologizing to Manny. Maybe if you ask her nicely, she'll kiss it and make it feel better. You see the look on Omniglot's face? That's probably not happening. You think Mackie might be lucky not to get punched in the eye for suggesting it.
It's probably for the best we don't go around randomly kissing aliens.
So she's basically starts telling Mackie off, while at the same time every now and then turning. And Unison, you've experienced this before, Unison, where it's like she carries on 2 conversations at once. One of them is her bawling Mackie out. She sounds pissed. The other is she's basically discussing. She starts bringing up Captain Kirk and Commander Riker in reference to your talk about kissing random aliens. And it's not just the subject matter she keeps flipping back and forth between, but like the tone of her voice is completely different in both conversations. It's like she gets to be amused about the conversation with you while still managing to maintain her being a little pissy with Mackie for his sexist suggestion.
It's an interesting manifestation of power there. Power / psyche.
What's your power? Translation and multitasking. Next up is Land Shark.
Everybody else is running for the gangplank, right?
Yes. Everybody except Mad Moria. Or Moria. I keep pronouncing it wrong.
I guess I will run for the gangplank too.
Alright.
I was rolling to decide what he would do.
Alright, so you turn and you take for the gangplank. The guys trying to mob you go next. So they will absolutely try to grab you again. So that is prowess versus your prowess or coordination. Don't forget you have a free tapping of, well, 3 free tappings of cover fire. Because while you turn and run, Ray is just firing into the crowd behind you. minimum roll. But that is still higher than the 7 they got. So you feel one get his hands on your back, almost like a touch football is what it reminds you of, because they slap your back and then a light beam goes past you and you feel them no longer on your back.
Don't tear up my new silver shirt.
And you get up the gangplank. Then it is Mackey's turn. He yells at his sister to come on. But she is in a warp spasm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm online playing with my friends.
Just 1 second.
Nope, I'm doing good.
Hang on a second. Alright, where are my controls? There he is. Y'all remind me to unmute him in a minute. Alright, but Mackie yells at his sister, and now his sister rolls to see if she... Or to give him his difficulty. He rolled a 10, she rolled a 12. She's not leaving her playmates. Basically, she's in a full rage. Y'all see Mackie sigh. Manny, go ahead and get him into orbit. Try to get him to their ship. I gotta go calm her down. And then he takes off across. The rest of y'all pile onto the ship. I'm gonna go. Unison. Well, no, Ray's in charge. Omniglot looks at Ray. Are we leaving him? The captain of the ship has already turned around and is heading to the cockpit.
Yeah, they know. I think he looks like he knows what he's doing, and I'm pretty sure his sister can take care of the both of them, even in these circumstances.
She she hits a couple buttons on the control pad, and the gangplank lifts back up.
I've got 5 copies down there that are going to be able to assist. They'll find a way out.
Okay. So, a few seconds later, you hear the engines fire up. It doesn't sound like thrusters. They're probably using some sort of anti-grav technology. It's the kind of technology y'all ship uses for these kind of landings. Seems to be kind of the galactic standard. Best you were able to tell, anyway. So he takes off. Y'all are hitting upper atmosphere. Down on the planet, Unison, your copies, they help clear a path a little bit, as Mackie eventually manages to talk his sister down. And you help them make their escape back to one of their safe houses, where they immediately start communicating with somebody. Let's see. So yeah. So those of you in the gym, the gym reaches space. Captain Manny asks you, all right, where's your ship?
We let him know it should still be in orbit.
Unison raises a hand and points that way.
No, that's so.
So he turns it. One of his other crewmen is tapping away. Manny's like, oh, there's lots of ships coming. Is there anybody on your ship that can pilot it along with us?
Yeah, I can. I got you. Hopefully.
Well, no, he means that could start flying the ship now while y'all are still on board Manny's ship.
Yes.
Cause yeah, y'all have a crew over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on the other end. Okay.
Oh, come to think of it, I think Unison's even got a clone over there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So you hear this conversation, Unison, it's,
Yeah, I've got a copy already setting things up on our ship.
All right, bring them alongside me. We were originally going to try to sneak, but there's no sneaking now. This cover's blown. I can't come back here with this identity and this ship again.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Mackie'll just owe me. So y'all take off. Your ship, the Primus, kind of pulls up next door. Y'all are both taking off. The guy manning Manny's sensors keeps yelling out, different vectors that other ships are coming in. Basically, the planet's defenses are coming online, though they're not blasting at your ships with the big orbital weapons yet. It would probably be hard to take Ray alive if they did that. But their navy is trying to close in on you. As you approach the outer edge of the system, Manny's getting very pessimistic. He doesn't know for sure that you're going to be able to avoid it. But just as he starts to get doomy and gloomy, one of those portals opens in space, like what y'all piloted through to get here. And a whole nother armada of ships comes through. They're somewhat similar in design, but they're a lot of white and chrome, or Lord Anordu's ships tend to be grays and blacks, and
They're the good guy colors, basically.
very blatantly and obviously the good guy colors. And that seems to grind the other fleet to a halt as there's like this Mexican standoff. Manny gets a communication from Mackie. You guys just keep flying. We notified the Tawana about this potential violation of the armistice. I don't know how that's going to work out, but it should give y'all time to get out of system. Manny, next time we run into each other, I'll compensate you. So as y'all pull out, so as y'all pull out the, you're catching the communications from the two fleets. As they start basically arguing over whether or not the armistice is being violated. Lord Anordu tells him he doesn't know what they're talking about. He has not violated, he has not hunted one of this great Spiorid. He has not tried to harm one of the great Spiorid. The poor creature is trapped in one of the lesser human creatures. He was just trying to free it. Humans are not protected by the armistice, as you well know. Whoever it is he's talking to. And he's talking to a fairly buff, red-headed, bearded, red-headed guy who's sitting there on like the bridge of his ship with a staff in his hand. He's standing. So as y'all manage to pull out a system, that debate is going back and forth. And about the time you get far enough away to lose the signal, it does sound like there's not going to be a fight. You're not sure if this sort of bluff will work again. but it has allowed you to escape the system. Both your ships travel to the next friendly system, at which point you're able to dock up and get back on board your ship. Manny has developed a nice black eye by that point.
I'll ask the good captain to. I'll thank the good captain and ask him to please let the Goodfellows know that we'll find a way to repay them for their assistance.
He shakes your hand. You know, it's only Omniglot he's not happy with.
I don't suppose they're able to open a portal to Earth.
Oh no, Captain Manny can't open portals. He doesn't know anything about that.
I meant the good guys, the
Juana's.
the Tawanas.
Manny doesn't know about that. He is not a Tawana.
Oh, maybe that's our next lead.
You know, he is able to update your star charts and stuff, so you know where you're at. And pleasantly enough, you're a couple of months closer to Earth than you were before this little incident.
Oh, nice.
All according to plan.
That's what Ray meant to do the whole time. So we will end it here. If this was a comic book, you know, second to last page is Ray shaking hands with the captain, you know, finding out where y'all are at. And then the last page, we cut back to Lord Anordu's palace complex. As the chef is looking there at the charcuterie board he had set up that nobody ever ate. Just sighing as his people are cleaning it up and throwing it out.
Damn it.
Oh well. Truly, no one on that planet can live without heartbreak. So I hope y'all had fun. I really enjoyed today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I wasn't exactly sure where the big fight would happen, so I didn't have a map prepared, but which is a shame though, because I actually have several spaceport maps that would have worked out. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Hope anybody that comes by and watches later or listens later enjoyed it. We plan to do this again in 2 weeks. That'll be the 5th. I don't think there's anything weird, or not. That's not the 5th. That'll be the 12th. Shouldn't be anything weird in May. So hopefully we'll be back on our regular schedule. Again, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me has been Zach as Recluse.
Thank you for joining us.
Mike as Independence Ray.
Goodbye, everyone.
Taylor as Unison.
See ya.
And Curtis playing Land Shark.
Laters.
And we will see y'all next time.